strangers calling near. Hearts awaken, truth is clear. Through the shadows, through the storm, they will lead us, keep us warm. Divine messengers.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Divine Messengers, the podcast where we explore the sacred, the unseen, and the divinely guided. I'm your host, Renita, and I am so grateful you're here today. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or deepening your connection with the divine, this space is for you. In today's episode, we're diving into something truly magical: how to start communicating with your spirit guide or guides or divine messengers, if you prefer. If you've ever felt like you're not walking this path alone, or if you're just curious about building a relationship with the loving beings that walk beside you, this episode is going to give you the tools and insight to begin that connection with confidence and clarity. So let's take a deep breath and let's step into the realm of the divine together. Let's take a quick moment to recap episode 1, where we explored the question, who are divine messengers? We talked about how divine messengers can take many forms: spirit guides, angels, ancestors, animal spirits, and even intuitive nudges or synchronicities. These are the beings and signs that help us, protect us, and offer insight as we move through life. We also touched a little on how they communicate, why they reach out, and how each of us is supported in unique and personal ways, whether we realize it or not. If you missed that episode, I highly recommend giving it a listen, and it lays the foundation for what we're diving into today. In today's episode, we're going to explore the very first steps into actually communicating with your spirit guides. We'll talk about the signs they use to reach out, how you can prepare yourself to connect, and some simple yet powerful methods to begin building a relationship with them. Whether you've sensed your guides before or you're just getting started, this episode will give you grounded, practical ways to open that sacred line of communication. I remember the first time I really felt the presence of a spirit guide. I was going through a period of pretty deep uncertainty, and I was feeling lost and unsure of my next steps. And one night, during a bit of meditation I was doing, I felt this overwhelming sense of calm, like someone was wrapping a warm blanket around my soul. I didn't hear any words or see anything dramatic, but I knew I wasn't alone. And that moment sparked a deeper curiosity in me. And over time, through small signs and gentle nudges, I realized my guide had been there all along. I just didn't know how to listen. And that's what today is about: learning to listen, to open up, and to trust the connection that's already forming, even if you can't see it. So let's start with some myths and misconceptions. Myth number 1, you have to be psychic to connect with your spirit guides. It's one of the biggest myths I hear, and it's as if only mediums or clairvoyants are worthy or able to receive messages, and that's simply not true. The truth is, everyone has the ability to connect. You don't need a crystal ball or a special gift. You simply need presence, intention, and a willingness to listen. Guides communicate in many subtle, everyday ways, through intuition, signs, dreams, even emotions. It's not about being psychic, it's about learning your own unique way of tuning in. Think of it like learning a language. Some people are naturally fluent, but anyone can learn to speak with time, practice, and trust. The second myth is that communication with a spirit guide has to be verbal. It's another common misconception, and it's like hearing a voice in your head or receiving a full-on conversation, but the truth is, most of the time, it's not verbal at all. Spirit guides speak the language of energy, symbols, emotions, and intuition. You might feel a sudden sense of peace or get a strong gut feeling, see a recurring sign like feathers or maybe numbers, or you have a vivid dream that feels meaningful. These non-verbal forms of communication are just as valid and often more natural than expecting clear words or messages. In fact, guides often prefer subtlety because it helps you learn to feel and to trust your own inner knowing. Finally, the third myth I hear a lot is that spirit guides have to be religious or connected to a religion. So a lot of people assume that guides are connected to a specific religion or a spiritual tradition, but that's simply not the case. Your guides don't have to be religious figures, and they aren't bound by doctrine or any one belief system. Guides can be ancestors, animal spirits, nature beings, or even people who have tuned into a higher understanding, but they don't have specific religious affiliation all the time. They may not even be in human form. Their role is to offer wisdom, support, and guidance in ways that are aligned with your personal spiritual path, whatever that may look like. The connection is about energy, about love, and about support. It's not about fitting into some specific religious box that we try to make sense here on Earth. A few common signs that your guides are already communicating. I would start off with number 1, repeating numbers. It's one of the most common ways spirit guides communicate, and it's also known as angel numbers. You may start seeing the same sequence of numbers over and over, like 111, 333, 555. These numbers aren't just coincidences. They carry specific messages from your guides. For example, a lot of people say that 111 might symbolize a new beginning, while 333 can indicate you're aligned with divine support. However, you can also take these synchronicities and create your own meanings for them. Write down your own intuitive meanings for 111, 222, 333, etc., etc. And pay attention to how these numbers and the thoughts you have when you see them, and they can often carry guidance. Second, your guides can reach out to you in dreams. These dreams may not always be literal, but they carry very important messages or symbolic insights. Sometimes you might wake up from a dream with a strong sense of clarity or a message that feels deeply significant. Visions can also happen while you're awake, like receiving mental images or flashes of insight, which are your guides' way of communicating with you. Third, spirit guides often use physical symbols to grab your attention. You might find feathers, coins, or other small objects in unexpected places. Animals can also show up as messengers. Whether it's seeing a hawk overhead or having a squirrel cross your path, each of these symbols has its own meaning, and your guides use them to deliver messages of reassurance, guidance, or even warnings. Notice the symbolism and how it resonates with your current situation. Fourth, have you ever had a thought or an idea come to you seemingly out of nowhere, and it feels like a truth you've always known? That's often referred to as what some people may call a download. It's a sudden surge of intuitive information. It might come in the form of a solution to a problem, a burst of inspiration, or even a deep knowing about something in your life. These are your guide's way of offering wisdom or clarity, often when you're most open and receptive. Fifth, sometimes when your spirit guides are near or communicating with you, you might feel physical sensation like tingling, warmth, or chills running down your spine. These sensations are often a sign of divine presence, a gentle reminder that your guides are with you and supporting you. Trust these feelings and know that they're a way your guides make their presence known on an energetic level. Now let's talk about preparing to connect with your spirit guide or your divine messengers. Begin by creating a sacred space, and it's all about establishing an environment where you can feel calm, centered, and open to spiritual energy. This doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Simply choose a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. You might choose to light a candle or burn some incense or place crystals or meaningful objects around you to set the tone. The goal is to cultivate an atmosphere of reverence and focus, signaling to the universe and your messenger that you're ready to connect with them. Grounding helps you to stay rooted and in the present moment, ensuring that you are aligned and balanced before connecting with any spiritual energy. One simple grounding technique is to sit with your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes and visualize roots extending from the soles of your feet and deep into the earth. This helps to stabilize your energy and helps you feel more connected to your body. Protection is just as important. Call on your guides, angels, or any other protective energies you trust to ensure that only positive and loving forces are able to reach out to you, or energies that have your best intent in mind. It doesn't always have to be positive per se, but imagine even a protective bubble of light surrounding you to keep away any unwanted energies or beings. Intention is key to any spiritual practice. Take a moment to set a clear, positive intention for why you want to connect with your guides. You may say something like, I open myself to the loving wisdom and guidance of my spirit guides. Or you could say, I am here to receive messages that support my highest good. It's important to also open your heart to receive their wisdom. Spirit communication isn't about forcing or demanding. It's about being open, receptive, and willing to trust what comes through, even if it's subtle. So here's a few methods I suggest to start communication. Meditation is one of the most powerful ways to connect with your spirit guides. By quieting the mind and entering a state of stillness, you create space for your guides to communicate. You can sit in a comfortable position, focus on your breath, and ask for guidance. In this peaceful space, you may receive subtle messages like images, thoughts, or feelings directly from your guides. Meditation helps you to tune in to the quiet whispers of the divine, allowing you to hear and feel their presence more clearly. Journaling is a simple yet effective way to begin connecting with your guides. Start by writing down your thoughts and feelings, but also leave space for spontaneous writing. This is often referred to as automatic writing. In this state, your guides may flow through you, writing down words, messages, or insights that you wouldn't consciously think of. This is a beautiful way to receive messages directly from your guides in a form that feels more personal and intimate. Oracle and tarot cards are excellent tools for receiving messages from your spirit guides. These cards can contain symbols, imagery, and messages that act as a gateway for communication. When you use cards, set an intention to ask your guides for insight or guidance on a specific question or situation. As you shuffle and pull cards, pay attention to the messages that come through, both from the cards themselves and from your own intuitive responses to them. Sometimes it can be difficult to know if you're receiving guidance or if it's just your mind wandering. And this is where simply asking for a sign comes in. You can ask your guides for a particular animal, symbol, or repeated number to confirm that they're with you. Be open to receiving these signs throughout your day. If you ask for a feather and suddenly find one in an unexpected place, it's a sign that your guides are answering your call. Speaking aloud is another powerful way to communicate with your guides. You can simply talk to them, asking for guidance or sharing your thoughts and intentions. Prayer, whether formal or informal, is a great way to invite your guides into your space. When you speak from the heart, your guides respond with intuitive nudges, visions, or physical sensations. Remember, your guides are always listening. Your voice is a direct channel to them. And dreams are a natural avenue for spirit guides to communicate with us, as the subconscious mind is more open during sleep. Before going to bed, set an intention to receive guidance from your guides in your dreams. You can say something like, please show me the answers I need in my dreams tonight. You can keep a journal by your bed and write down any dreams or symbols you remember upon waking. Over time, you'll begin to recognize patterns and messages that your guides are sending through your dreams. A few keys to building the relationship with your divine messengers is patience and consistency. Building a relationship with your guide is much like developing any other meaningful relationship. It requires time. So don't expect instant communication or dramatic signs right away. Your guides are always with you, but it takes time to get used to their presence and to learn how they communicate with you. Be patient with the process and practice as regularly as you can, whether through meditation, journaling, or asking for signs. Over time, Your connection will grow stronger, and you'll begin to notice more frequent and clearer messages. I highly recommend keeping a spirit guide journal. It's one of the most powerful ways to strengthen your bond. And keeping a dedicated journal for your guides' interactions, it'll help you to write down any messages, signs, or feelings you receive, no matter how subtle they may seem. This journal will not only help you track your progress, but also reveal patterns or recurring messages over time. It's also a great way to reflect on the evolution of your connection with your guides, helping you to recognize how they're communicating with you more clearly. Gratitude is a powerful way to honor and strengthen your relationship. When you receive guidance, whether it's a sign, message, or feeling, take a moment to thank your guides. Expressing gratitude shows that you acknowledge their help and appreciate their support. This simple act of thanks strengthens the spiritual bond and invites more frequent, meaningful communication. You can even set aside a time each day to offer thanks for their guidance and presence in your life. One of the most important ways to build a deeper connection with your guide is by listening and trusting your intuition. Your guides often communicate through gut feelings, hunches, and subtle inner nudges. By honoring these feelings, you reinforce your trust in their guidance. The more you listen and follow your intuition, the clearer and more frequent your connection will become. Trust that your guides are always working in your highest good, even if the messages aren't immediately clear. Now, through all of this, you may find yourself facing a few common challenges. It's completely normal to feel like nothing is happening, especially when you're just starting out. You might meditate, journal, and ask for signs, but it feels like your guides aren't responding. The truth is, they may be communicating with you in such subtle ways that it's easy to overlook. Often the messages or signs are not immediate or loud, but more gentle and indirect. So to navigate this challenge, try to practice patience and stay consistent in your practices. Keep track of any small signs and changes in your intuition, and over time you'll begin to see patterns, and your connection will become more evident. Remember, they're always present. Sometimes it just takes a little time for your energy to align with theirs. Self-doubt is a natural part of any spiritual practice, especially when you're learning to just trust messages that come from non-physical sources. You might wonder, is this really my guide or is it just my imagination? And the key to overcoming self-doubt is developing trust in yourself and in the process. Start by acknowledging that self-doubt is normal, but it doesn't need to control your journey. When you receive messages or signs, try to observe them with curiosity rather than judgment. Keep a journal of your experiences and reflect on them over time. As you gain more experience, you'll find it easier to distinguish between your inner voice and the guidance of your spirit guides. Trust the small intuitive nudges and build your confidence in them step by step. Misinterpreting messages is something everyone experiences at some point. Sometimes a symbol, feeling, or a sign might seem clear at first, only for you to realize later that it actually meant something completely different. They often communicate in symbolic or metaphorical language, so it makes interpretation tricky. To navigate this, practice patience and give yourself grace. Don't be afraid to ask your guides for clarification. If a message feels confusing, you can also review past messages. Sometimes the meaning becomes clearer over time, especially as you grow in your spiritual practice. Additionally, trust that your guides understand your learning and will continue to communicate with you in ways that you can understand as you become more in tune with their language. So, for my final thoughts, let's remember that your spirit guides are always eager to communicate with you. They're here to support you, guide you, and help you along with your journey. They're patient, loving, and willing to work with you whenever you're ready. If you feel like nothing is happening, please don't give up. Trust that your guides are always here and that the connection will strengthen as you continue to show up and create space for them. It's important to remember that everyone's experience with spirit guides is different. Some may receive clear, immediate messages, while others may experience a more subtle connection. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Trust your own process. Whether you experience sudden visions, dream-based guidance, or gentle nudges throughout your day, your connection is personal to you, and it will unfold in its own time. The most important thing is to keep showing up with an open heart. Stay curious, patient, and willing to receive guidance in whatever form it takes. Even on the days when nothing feels like it's happening, your guides are still present, and they're working with you. The more you cultivate an open heart and a willing spirit, the clearer and more powerful your connection will become. So let's do a little recap. Communication with your spirit guide doesn't have to be verbal. They speak in many ways, including symbols, dreams, and intuition. Building a connection requires patience, consistency, and an open heart. Everyone's experience with their guides is unique, so trust your own process and keep showing up. And remember, your guides want to connect with you. They're always there, supporting you every step of the way. So I'd love to hear about your experiences. Please share how you've connected with your spirit guides in the comments or on social media. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other on this journey. Next week, we'll be diving into how to strengthen your connection with your spirit guides and deepen that relationship. So stay tuned for that exciting episode. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and follow Divine Messengers wherever you listen. Your feedback helps me to grow and share this wisdom with more people. So until next time, keep shining your light, and may your guides continue to walk with you on your path. Blessed be, my friends.